Kenyans have for the last 4 months been forced to dig deeper into their pockets to enjoy a meal flavored with tomatoes. Consumers have been forced to part with between 10 to 15 shillings for one tomato, up from 5 to 3 shillings over November and December last year. The traders attributed the increased cost to reduced supply in the market and transportation charges. According to consumer price indices from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, month-on-month prices for tomatoes increased 7.44% from 44 shillings and 32 cents to 47 shillings and 30 cents per kilo between January and April of this year. Tomatoes and onions have defied a general drop in prices of food items over the past year, hitting record highs, handing producers a boom while squeezing households' budgets. But for farmers like Pastor Joseph Almoja, a seasoned telephone farmer from Mailitisa in Namanga, Kajiado County, this season has been a money-minting season for him as a tomato farmer, as the market demand for the tomatoes being at its all-time high.
This is the Mailitisa area, and this is our 5 acres of tomatoes. And the reason why I said onions is because we began our harvesting of onions. We finished with us, and now we are doing 5 acres of tomatoes. The journey has been incredible. This is our first season, and we're expecting 40 tons per acre, because we have done the best we can to apply good agricultural practices, which we are almost to the point of achieving our goals.
Pastor Almoja's 7-acre farm is a marvel to behold, with plots of healthy tomatoes at different stages of maturity.
We have a borehole which produces 18 cubic of water. By God's grace, we're able to drill that. And then we use solar irrigation system. So the hot sun has been a blessing to us in another way, because the more the irrigation, the more water we have.
I find Almoja with a few of his family members and workers tending to his tomato plants at the farm.
They really don't know how to harvest. In Mailitisa town, we go pick up some local laborers, and what we really want to do is to empower them. They don't know how to do it, but being trained and being shown, they want to do it. So we have a dream that one day they will be self-dependent to be able to do this. But in the meantime, we hire local people. What we do here in the farm is we bring in families, husband, wife, and kids, and we keep them here. We have 7 of those right now, 7 families.
Some are busy harvesting ripe fruits and putting them in the crates before ferrying them out of the farm for grading.
We give them training. We got our mamas, which are much more breadwinners of their families most of these days. So we bring them to the farm and we show them how to farm, we show them how to grow, and we show them how to harvest. And then we pay them while they learn the skill, because they also have land they can apply on their own lives.
Almoja is also an onion farmer, but during this season, he has found a footing in tomato farming, having made the switch late last year after studying the market.
I started about a year ago. I tried an acre of onions, and then it did pretty well. And then we moved into 5 acres of onions again. It did exceedingly well. And then someone introduced me to tomato. I went to Loitoktok, and someone was saying, since you're so good in onions, you might as well be so good in tomatoes. So give it a shot. We studied the market, and then here we are.
The 7-acre tomato farm dubbed Olaitotioni Farm, meaning the one who feeds others in the Maasai community. The farm expects to produce 40 tons of tomatoes per acre.
The plan we really have for the young people, which we do have a lot of them, is to give them hope that the best way you can go about life is really self-employment. You can self-empower yourself. You don't have to leave your home. You don't have to leave your community to go make money. When you become creative and have a willingness to work hard, there's money everywhere. So money truly grows on trees, because you can make money from these little trees you see right here. And we want to empower people who are leaving their villages, who are leaving their communities to Nairobi, where there is even no jobs. And the life there is too much expensive for them. So we want to retain their talent to be able to remain back home and work so hard as much as they can here and be able to make a living.
Tomato is one of the most important vegetables grown in Kenya. It is half-hardy, annual subtropical fruit vegetable used in salad or cooking as a vegetable. Processed into tomato paste, sauce and puree, it is rich in vitamins. Almoja tells me the 7-acre farm under the tomatoes, he harvests 200 crates of 50 kilograms each, with the tomatoes going for 50 shillings a kilo as the farm gate price.
The future holds a lot of us. For me personally, this is very much fulfilling. So this is a dream of my father. Like I said, this is 200 acres of land and I didn't buy any of it. My father, my actually uncle, left it to me as an inheritance. So it means a lot to me to be able to have this legacy for my family and for my community as well. For my community, the future holds a lot because now they have a school here where they can come and learn the skill in their own farm, without going to Nakuru or Nanyuki or some more other places. And above all, it is one of their own. So it's no longer someone from another dialect, a Kikuyu or a Kamba. It's one of their own Maasai, showing them the way that the Maasai community can do farming of crops and not just cows alone.
The good pastor tells me in tomato farming, the soil should be deep and well drained. The soil should be prepared well and loosened and broken down well. The optimal pH for tomatoes is around 6 to 7.5. Soil analysis can be done to determine this and help you come up with a list of required fertilizer to prepare the land. If the pH is low, lime can be used to raise it up, and if high, gypsum can be used to lower it. But how did this pastor learn all of this?
I learned number one, just by the love of nature. Farming is too much biblical. There's a lot of biblical references about farming. And so I read a lot of them and I digest, and nothing is much more better than to put them into practice.
Almoja goes on and tells me hardening your seedlings is one of the most important things you can do to help ensure their survival. Without hardening, your seedlings won't be able to adapt to the changing temperature or the exposure to weather like wind and rain.
Well, onions like hot weather as long as they have a good farm management. It really does pretty well here in Kajiado County because of the dry desert we're in. But you do have to pay very close attention to it. But once we do that, you can go to the skies.
Planting your tomatoes too closely not only stunts their growth and causes a drop in fruit production, but it also makes it too difficult for the sun to reach through the plant. This means your tomato plant suddenly becomes the perfect breeding ground for plant diseases that love the damp conditions.
I'm planning to rotate onions here, and then the 5 acres I'm planning to move tomatoes in another season to the other side so the onions can be here. And also in August and September we're planning for watermelons. Right now the 5 acres field which is open, we are planting yellow beans to be harvested in July.
According to the pastor, pest and early blights can leave your plant completely bare of foliage, and if you are not prepared to treat it, this problem can quickly spiral out of control. Early blight is caused by a fungus, so if you have your plant with these problems before, you should avoid planting in that area.
The biggest challenge that we really went through is tutor absoluta, which is a very tricky insect to beat at or to even have against it. And also the other thing that we had was agronomy skills. We didn't have any local agronomists. The one we have is from Nairobi, and so the cost of transporting him here to be able to manage the pest control is one of the challenges that we have been. And also the manpower, because our people are still so much behind in this. So we have to bring laborers from far other than here.
Early blight will first appear on the oldest lower leaves. You will see brown spots that look like targets, and the leaves will yellow around it. Eventually, the whole leaf will turn brown, die and fall off. To help prevent early blight from devastating your plants, Almoja tells me farmers should try rotating their crops, moving them to a different area of the garden with fresh soil.
It is affecting my community in so many ways. Number one, we cannot predict the rainy season anymore. Before they used to predict, they can see the stars, and they can see the clouds, they can see the moon, and then they pretty much be able to determine when the rain is coming. Not anymore. Before they used to expect rains in April. This is May and we're just beginning to get rain right now. So the challenge we're having with global warming is you cannot plan ahead anymore. So the lesson in that is you have to be consistently farming just so you can run into a consistent market, because you just can't predict when is rain coming anymore.
We will be taking a short break, but we will be back shortly. This is The Next Frontier.